Good morning all, and welcome to today's graduation ceremony here at the Fire and Rescue New South Wales Emergency Services Academy. My own graduation from Recruit College 17 years ago is forever imprinted on my memory as a touchstone of my life. I had no idea then of how being a firefighter and being a part of the Fire and Rescue New South Wales family would change and shape my life for the better. It expanded me in ways I never could have imagined when I first stepped foot into New South Wales Fire Brigades College on the 24th of June 2005. I vividly recall being racked by self-doubt as I pulled my firefighting boot off, having just somewhat unsuccessfully, I might add, navigated the hot fire cell during the first week of breathing apparatus training at the college. I poured the sweat out of my boot as I lifted it up and wondered, could I really do this? Had I made a huge mistake? Fast forward 17 years on, and on Australia Day this year, I was awarded my Australian Fire Services Medal. Through my career, I have learned not only to be a firefighter, but just as importantly, how to nurture and develop a team, how to meet challenges and struggle with them at work and in my life, so that I grew as a person. I have forged unbreakable friendships, and I know that wherever I am in the world, if I need help, there will be an army of firefighters that have my back. My career has bestowed me with connectedness to something greater, a purpose beyond myself, and a knowing that I made a difference in the world. I hope that this is the same experience that your loved ones will have as they embark on their long and exciting careers. Before we begin, some important housekeeping. If you hear an alert tone, prepare to leave the precinct on direction. And if you hear an evacuation tone, please follow directions to exit the precinct. The designated assembly area is on the northern corner of Distribution Drive and Mamre Road outside Gate 1. There is no smoking on site. If you do need to smoke, please move to the evacuation assembly area. And please, could I ask you to put your mobile phones on silent or to switch them off. If you do require any assistance at all during the ceremony, please do not hesitate to let us know. Today's graduation ceremony will be live streamed, and the link to share with those not able to make it here today is www.fire.nsw.gov.au/live. Now, can I ask you to please be upstanding for our flag bearers, Fire and Rescue New South Wales Band, and of course, our graduates. Thank you to our flag bearers, Fire and Rescue New South Wales Band, and to our graduates. I would like to welcome the Minister for Emergency Services and Resilience, the Honourable Steph Cooke MP. Fire and Rescue New South Wales Commissioner Paul Baxter, senior executives, officers and firefighters. The Resilience New South Wales Commissioner Shane Fitzsimmons, AFSM. New South Wales Police Force Deputy Commissioner Peter Thurtell. New South Wales Rural Fire Service Assistant Commissioner Ben Millington. Surf Lifesaving New South Wales CEO Stephen Pearce. Erin Wilkins, who will be delivering our Welcome to Country. Karina Leverett, who will be singing our national anthem. Distinguished guests, friends and family, ladies and gentlemen, and of course to the cutest junior firefighter, Caden Blake. Welcome. Erin Wilkins will now welcome us to country. Thank you, Erin.
It always helps to have a full speech. So Warami, Budri Malenawal, Budri Najabunya, Darag Norwa, Naya Giara, Erin Wilkins, Jin Bubabul, Darag Uriam. Welcome and good morning. It's good to see you all on Darug country. My name is Erin Wilkins. I'm a strong and proud Aboriginal woman from the Darug people. I'd like to acknowledge and pay respects to my ancestors, whose footsteps I follow, to my elders who walk beside me, and to the children of future elders who will then follow in the footsteps that we leave behind. I'd also like to acknowledge all Aboriginal and non-Aboriginal people with us today and pay respects to your ancestors also. Just as we have done for thousands of years, I'd like to welcome you all onto Darug country as we walk across this beautiful land together. I'd like to invite you to share our lands, our skies and our waterways, which are so full and rich in culture and history. I am Darug. I am born of these lands and these waterways, both in body and in spirit. The lands our ancestors have lived on and cared for thousands of years. The Darug Nation embraces the land, seas and waterways, from the Blue Mountains in the west to the Sydney coastline in the east, from the Hawkesbury in the north to Appin in the south. We are both mountains and plains people. We are both saltwater and freshwater people. Our culture has continued for more than 60,000 years. We may not look nor live like our ancestors, but our spirits and our connection is just as strong. A connection and a spirit that has been maintained for more than 60,000 years. The voices of our ancestors are echoed across this land. Let us listen as the winds tell their stories. May our ancestors keep us strong. May we share our practice and teach those who follow to tread softly on this land. Our people have gathered on this land since the dreaming, since the first sunrise, coming together for hunting, feasting, song, dance and ceremony, to share story, to teach the young ones the old ways, and to continue all our practice. As we walk across these different nations, our people would stop near our boundaries, light a fire, and the smoke resource, and share practice. We ask with humility that you respect our people and our lands, and most importantly, our laws and law. In return, we acknowledge your presence, we acknowledge your journey, and keep you safe while on our country. As in our culture, whether thousands of years ago or just today, it is our role in communities which we live and work to establish safe space. We never looked down, we always looked across. This morning we come together as one to recognise and celebrate the milestone for all the graduates that stand before us, to recognise their important roles as children, brothers, sisters, mothers and fathers. And they also have that commitment and dedication for their communities. They keep us safe. Let them enter this new journey alongside family, friends and colleagues with high hopes and dreams. May we be there to keep them strong, to hold them up, but also importantly to allow them to open their wings and become more than what their potential may be. Today we also enter Reconciliation Week. We all need to reflect on our individual part we play in the process of reconciliation. It is about moving forward and forming strong relationships. What action will you take this year? This year is to be brave and make change. And to our graduates and everybody else standing here, you are brave and you are in the first step of making change in your community. May, as we leave here, we take our shoes off. May we let our feet touch the ground and pay respects and draw in the energy of Mother Earth as she keeps us grounded and keeps us focused. Our stories, our people, our sites and our ancestors, they are all still here. We feel their presence and we see them in the landscapes. We just need to sit, be present, listen and watch. So as we walk across this country together, please be mindful to tread softly on this land. Our dreaming is never ending and our dreaming is forever. I'll now welcome you in language and then translate it back into English. Waramai, Dai Darg Nurawa, Bamu Baru Yurian, Nangaman Nana, Naraju, Bayala, Guragu, Guragu. Nangama Yalamai, Nai Mudali, Guba, Babuna, Nurawa, Yurigan. Welcome. This is Dari Country, the land and the waterways of my people. I invite you to listen as the winds tell the stories of long ago. I ask that you tread softly as we walk and to honour and give respects to our ancestors, our people and our lands. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin, so much for that powerful message and your words. Another warm welcome to Karina Leverett, who will sing our national anthem today. Welcome.
Thank you all. I'll be singing it in English and in language today. Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free, with golden soil and wealth fertile. Our home is glad by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strength and let us sing, advance Australia fair. Nini Australia ga bujari garibara, Nini bujari purika. Bujari bamuyara raga mari walaba, bamuyara mari walamorang, bamumorong mari cabin walaba, bajajarang burita. Yaramur Australia ga, Yaramur Australia ga, Yana bujari Australia ga. Nini bayalaga ui, Yana bujari Australia ga. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Karina. Please be seated. May I now welcome Associate Chaplain Jason Goodhart. Jason, can you please lead us in prayer and blessing for today's ceremony? Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to be standing before you today and to have the opportunity to pray a blessing over you all, and especially for our new firefighters as they officially join the Fire and Rescue New South Wales family. I personally share in your excitement today just as much as I did when I commenced as a retained or on-call firefighter with Fire and Rescue New South Wales almost 20 years ago. It is a career that I love and I know you will also. I'd like to congratulate each of you for your hard work and dedication throughout your training that has brought us to this, your graduation day. I'd like to acknowledge that today was only made possible with the love and support of your family and friends, some of whom are here with us today to share in this very special occasion. To all of the family and friends who have stood by your side along the way, I would like to say thank you. Could I please ask you all now to join with me as I pray over all our new firefighters and their families. God, I thank you for each and every one that stands before you today. I thank you that you love them and see the hard work that they have put in to achieve what they have and for their commitment to service. I thank you for the love and support of family and friends that have helped strengthen and encourage them along the way. I ask you, God, that our new firefighters be welcomed into their fire stations and are blessed with crew members that will offer them love, support, encouragement, guidance, and the hope they need. I pray they never feel alone, that they always feel valued and included throughout their careers by the communities they are serving to protect, peers they work alongside, supervisors, and the organisation they serve. We pray for their continued protection and safety as they undertake their duties as firefighters and ask you to bless them with long, healthy and safe careers. We commit them to you, God. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Associate Chaplain Jason Goodhart. I'd like to welcome our Minister for Emergency Services and Resilience, Steph Cooke, to the stage. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And may I start by, Erin, thank you very much for your welcome to country this morning. Deep and meaningful and beautiful. And I would like to personally acknowledge that we meet on the lands of your people today, your elders, and pay my respects to them and others emerging. May I also acknowledge that we're joined here today by distinguished guests from the other emergency services organisations and of course Commissioner Paul Baxter. It is wonderful to be here with you today. Also acknowledging our graduates and your families. I know that this is a very special day for each and every one of you, and it's also a very special day for me as the Minister for Emergency Services and Resilience, as this is my first graduation ceremony to attend. I want to thank you for the hard work that you've put in over the past near on 15 weeks to come to this point. You've all worked very, very hard and today is very special, and I'd encourage you to soak up every moment so that as the years unfold, you can look back on this day as a very cherished memory in commencing your career as a firefighter. Today we have 188 graduates, including 155 on call and 33 permanent. We also have 36 women who are graduating today, and that's a very fine achievement indeed. I wish each and every one of you all the very best for your careers ahead. In the time that I've had the portfolio, of course, we've seen our state hit by some incredible events, unprecedented natural disasters. And what I've witnessed through that time of our fire and rescue colleagues has been just a magnificent effort in supporting all of our emergency services organisations. I've seen you on the ground working day in, day out to help communities, particularly those in the Northern Rivers region, to get back on their feet, cleaning out their houses, offering that pastoral care, that confidence that comes when they see fire and rescue turn up in uniform. It's been so heartening to see, and I really want to thank those of you that have already done some service in that respect. And to those of you who may find the opportunity to do so, I would strongly encourage it, because it's always very, very well received and appreciated by those communities. I think finally, I'd just like to once again congratulate you on today. What a special day it is. Congratulations on all you've achieved so far. And because I am a person who hails from Temora in southwest New South Wales, I never miss an opportunity to plug rural and regional New South Wales. So for those of you that might at any stage be considering a tree change of some kind, there are many, many opportunities in rural and regional New South Wales for highly skilled, highly trained and passionate firefighters. And we would welcome you with open arms. But wherever you may find yourself in New South Wales, thank you so much for signing up to this challenge. I'm sure for many of you it's a dream come true. I wish you all the very best for your career, and I look forward to seeing you in your stations over the coming weeks and months ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. I'd like to now welcome Commissioner Baxter to congratulate and welcome the graduating firefighters to our Fire and Rescue New South Wales family.
Thank you, Tara. Woromai mitiga gurumbarak tiati mara daraga pemel. In the spirit of Reconciliation Week coming up, I also acknowledge the people of Darug lands that we are here on our academy, and we are so delighted that we have such a strong connection with the local people. And in that spirit of reconciliation, the changes that we are making, the use of the Aboriginal language in our national anthem, flying of the Aboriginal flag, and the embedding of Aboriginal people in our workforce is really important to us. I take that opportunity to acknowledge the Darug people's elders, past, present, and also those of you amongst us that come from Aboriginal Torres Strait Islander descent. Welcome to our place here at Orchard Hills. Thank you, Erin, for that beautiful welcome, that heartfelt welcome, and Karina. Every time I say we are just so lucky to have you come along and support us the way you do. You do such a fabulous job, and it means the world to us that you keep supporting us, so thank you. I also pay my acknowledgements to our Minister, the Honourable Steph Cooke. Thank you for your first graduation. For our graduates here, mainly it's their first graduation as well, so don't be too worried. To Commissioner for New South Wales, Shane Fitzsimmons, AO. First time I've got to say that, Shane. Congratulations on your recent honour. To the Assistant Commissioner for Rural Fire Service, my colleague Ben Millington, welcome. Also for Deputy Commissioner from Peter Thurtell from New South Wales Police, welcome. To our partner agency, Dr John Harvey, special guest that's been helping us today from Westmead Kids Hospital and the Burns Association of Australia and New Zealand. Welcome to the graduation, John. It's fantastic to have you here with us as well. To the Surf Lifesaving Chief Executive Officer and former firefighter, Steve Pearce, welcome. To my wonderful executive leadership team that are here today, thanks for taking the time out of a busy time to be here. To my senior executive officers and senior officers and station officers and firefighters, welcome all. To our newest firefighter, Caden, in training. We start them young, 3.5 years old, was blessed today with a New South Wales Fire and Rescue uniform. Caden and Dr John Harvey have helped us launch our winter fire safety campaign. So as you can see on the side of the bus here, prevention and education first. Every year we'll see around 20 people die, and most likely die in their own home because of fire. in what we think mainly are completely preventable cases. So that's why the first calling of your job is to prevent and educate, to stop fires from occurring. Of course we'll be there when fires occur and when people have their darkest moment. But the stark reality is most people that die in home fires will die before we've even left the fire station. So we have a calling and we have an obligation to make sure that those people have got the knowledge that we hold to keep themselves safe and to keep their families safe, to keep their children safe, to keep their parents and their grandparents safe. To the family and friends of the graduates today, a warm welcome to you. It's fantastic to have you here. We know that you've given up your loved one for their training to go away to Sydney or wherever they trained, and it's hard work for them to be out of the normal lifestyle to become a firefighter. But it's so important that they get that training that they need to be an effective member of their crew when they go out onto their stations. So we welcome you into our wider Fire and Rescue New South Wales family. To our graduating firefighters, welcome and congratulations. We're coming together today to celebrate you, our people, on such an important milestone, and it's one of the best parts of my job that I get to do. It's our people that make Fire and Rescue New South Wales. We've got fantastic equipment, fantastic appliances, technology. We've got some of the best kit in the world, but without firefighters, people that are willing to do the job, we're nothing. We can't do anything without people that will use that technology and that equipment to do the job. Each year we welcome around 100 permanent and 400 on-call retained firefighters into our organisation. And you now join an organisation of more than 12,000 people made up of 3,500 permanent firefighters, 3,500 on-call firefighters, 5,000 people from our community fire units, and support staff, administration staff, IT professionals, human resources professionals that support our frontline firefighters every day. And you all bring a wealth of experience with your backgrounds of what you did before you became a firefighter to us, and we love to see you bring all of those skills and backgrounds with you. Our calling is to be prepared for anything, to protect the irreplaceable. 100 years ago, that was just to be prepared for fire, but being a firefighter today is about so much more than just fighting firefighters. That means prevention first. It means fire in the urban and rural environments. It means rescue from any sort of situation. It means working with hazardous materials. It means providing emergency medical care to people in the communities. It means working with our police to support counter-terrorism operations. It means protecting our environment. And it also means humanitarian responses, both here in Australia and internationally around the world. The last 6 months, it would be an understatement to say, have not been challenging. And I'm very proud of the professionalism of our people, not only rising to every challenge, but to continue to deliver critical, reliable emergency services to anyone, anywhere, anytime, while we have had these big emergency crises underway. And anywhere we did, and any time we did, and the Northern Rivers, as the Minister has described, was a great example of that, where we deployed our in-water rescue technician capability to respond rapidly to the people that needed assistance up there. And in the thick of the crisis, our in-water rescue technicians delivered groceries via our Archangel boats. And for a first, as far as I'm aware, in my too long a career, some would say, rescue a dog up a tree. We've had heaps of cats up trees. I've even seen a drone rescued from a tree. But this was the first dog, a large dog, rescued from 5 metres up a tree in Lismore. In the field, our people worked tirelessly to provide for their communities, even when their own homes were in danger, and sometimes when their own homes were lost. They worked closely along our other emergency services as part of a big system of emergency services support to our communities. And that's why it is so important that we acknowledge the people from those other services that are here today, because we are part of that system. And without the other agencies, we cannot provide the service that we do. We worked closely alongside those agencies to help in the first stages of the recovery effort. We washed out schools, homes, businesses. Our specialist hazmat capability ensured that we kept the community and the environment safe from all the chemicals, poisons and hazardous materials that were affected in the flooding. And our community liaison officers worked there to lend a hand and to an ear to those people in need in those early days. The outstanding efforts of our people during these challenging events highlighted our wide range of capabilities and our ability to adapt. You'll be joining a service with a proud history, and looking at all of you today, I know a very bright future. In the same way that you're heading out to protect your communities, as Tara has described, the Fire Rescue New South Wales family will look out for you. Over the past 5 years, we've committed to delivering projects that will help you do your job safely and do it well. Through our Clean Firefighter program, we're working towards reducing your exposure to carcinogens that we know cause a number of cancers, both at the incident ground and on our stations. We're investing in a range of new technologies, trucks and training, from our technical rescue vehicles, battery-powered rescue equipment and lighting, thermal imaging cameras and multi-head gas detection, as well as the best personal protective clothing in the world, new communications technology to make you a connected firefighter wherever you go. Crucially, we've focused on your mental health and how we can support you anytime, anywhere. We've expanded our wellbeing team, the real help from our 133 peer firefighters just like you, who make their time available to help you when you're struggling. And we've secured funding ongoing funding for 5 full-time occupational psychologists and 4 wellbeing officers and a wellbeing coordinator. And in addition, we have expanded to a wide range of new and enhanced mental health services for building resilience amongst our firefighters, reducing the stigma attached to asking for help and supporting you when you need it. But you have to use those services. You have to be prepared to build your resilience, and you have to be prepared to put your hand up and ask for help when you need it. And you need to help your friends when you know that they're struggling as well. Looking after each other, not only during incidents, but also checking in with each other after incidents and back at the station, or in the case of families that are here today, keeping an eye on your loved one who is a firefighter is so important, because we have those services available for families of firefighters as well. Thank you to the families again for supporting and encouraging your loved one through their intense training and their studies and the work that they'll do in the future, because they will be away from home, they will do their normal shifts, they will get called out in the middle of the night, they will be deployed across the state and in their futures, possibly internationally, to assist in emergencies and crises as well. Could I also thank the education and training staff here for giving their all to impart their knowledge and skills with the new firefighters. But lastly, a note to our graduating firefighters. Welcome to the Fire and Rescue New South Wales family. Your teammates will look after you and you will look after them. No matter what the situation, you'll never be alone. Congratulations on reaching that important milestone in your career, and I wish you and your families a safe journey throughout your career, and look forward to the positive contribution that you will all make in your careers now and into the future. Congratulations and well done.
Thank you, Commissioner Baxter. If you'd like to now move to the centre of the stage, we will begin presenting the graduation certificates to our firefighters graduating today. Charmaine Ahrens. Armitage. Jeffrey Barchi. Unai Bell Rincon. Liam Byers. Georgia Kamer. Hilary Cassell. Travis Collins. Andrea Coos. Daniel Everett. Kai Fawcett. Erin Felton. Cherie Gallagher. Brian Gleeson.
Thank you.
Carlton Hillier. Elim Humphreys. Emma Eden. Matthew Johnston. Troy Jordan. Cooper Langby. Christopher Luafalialo. Floyd Mallon. Jared McDonald. Glenn McDonald. Thomas McLaren. Sarah Mills. Sean Mitchell. Bryce Mullen. Madeline Nolan. Alison O'Regan. Amanda Ossica. Eduardo Pantoa. Rishi Prabhakar. Ian Priest. James Reed Boquist. Travis Slater. Renee Stromitis. Alexander Tadros. Emma Trainer. And Jake Trengove. Minister and Commissioner, if you could now join the recruits for a photo with our graduates. Thank you. committed to protecting the irreplaceable. Thank you. This concludes the official ceremony this morning. We now invite you to please make your way across to the practical learning environment for a live display which will demonstrate our latest technology, equipment and capabilities. Thank you.
Fire and Rescue New South Wales is the largest fire and rescue service, an urban fire and rescue service in the Southern Hemisphere. We're the main combat agency for responding to all kinds of fires, factory fires, house fires, and also business fires. More and more people are choosing to live in apartment buildings and in units in New South Wales, and that is why we need these very specialised equipment and appliances to get people down. This ladder platform can go up to 45 metres or 15 to 17 levels. On our ladder platform today, we have two very experienced operators who have actually hundreds of hours of experience in operating these machines and in making sure that the community is safe. The ladder platform itself can lift up to 500 kilograms, and they're very useful in structure fires because they can shoot large jets of water from the air being directed by the information that's being received by the incident controller. Fire and Rescue currently has 4 of these appliances in service. They're based at Parramatta, Newcastle, Crow's Nest and in Wollongong. And this is an overall investment and a very important investment of over $8 million to Fire and Rescue. We can see that Inspector Cinders is nice and safe now and will be brought down very safely indeed. Do we have any kids here who know what number we need to call if we need Fire and Rescue? Yell it out for me. 000, very good. And what do we do if the smoke alarm goes off in our house? Do we get out and stay out? Do we go back in? Definitely not. Inspector Cinders is looking very safe there. Excellent work, Inspector Cinders. Good job. Excellent work there from ladder platform 27. You can see we now have Rescue Pump 15, which is from Burwood. They're responding to what we have over here, which looks like a fairly nasty motor vehicle accident. We have 901 rescue operators across the state, and with those rescue operators, we also have trainees who are going through to start learning their specialised techniques on rescue. This particular truck is both a fire truck and a rescue truck. It still has all the features of a fire truck, so 2,000 litres of water, breathing apparatus, but it also has specialised equipment. All of our fire trucks that are rescue trucks are basically massive toolboxes on wheels. These ones have hydraulic equipment in them. They might also be known by most people as the jaws of life. And this equipment is used to get people out of cars, but also to do industrial or domestic rescue. We also do rescue from heights, animal rescues, cat rescues, cats out of trees, all sorts of different rescue situations. As the crew's getting out, I'd just like to draw your attention to the gentleman with the red helmet. This is Station Officer Sykes, and he has 43 years of experience with fire and rescue. We'll also be losing him in August when he retires. So you're in for a treat today. You're seeing one of our most experienced rescue operators and someone who has brought some of the most innovative rescue techniques into fire and rescue. Amongst this crew, you've got over 100 years of rescue experience. So this is a very experienced crew. And what they're doing at the moment, they're setting up fire protection for the first thing because we've still got a person sitting in this vehicle. They're going around and they're stabilising that vehicle to make sure it can't go anywhere. Checking on the casualty to make sure that we can start providing first aid if the ambulance service isn't there yet. All of this gear that's coming out of the truck, these are stabilisation tools that we'll be putting in underneath the vehicle so it can't go anywhere. We've got a patient protection kit which has airbag restraint so that if the airbag hasn't yet been deployed, they can put that on so that all the operators can work safely in that vehicle, but also making sure our casualties are safe. Next up, the crew will be looking at glass management. So any window that hasn't been breached when we need to start cutting into that vehicle, they'll take that glass out to make sure it's nice and safe. You see these hoses that they're carrying? These are our hydraulic lines. These are going to power all the tools that they're going to be using. And today, they're going to be attempting what we like to call a side rip. It's where the driver is stuck in this vehicle and they're going to remove the entire side of that vehicle so that we can access them. Every rescue truck in New South Wales carries this gear, but we also have some heavy rescues that have additional capabilities and some technical rescues. Every fire appliance, also every fire truck, also has rescue gear on it. And all of our recruits that are coming through today that have graduated, congratulations. But they're also having done all the road crash modules as well. And then as they progress through their career, they can choose if they would like to go into a specialised role, such as either rescue, aerials, hazmat, aviation, or any of the other ones that we have. So you can see the crew as they're working around the vehicle. They're wearing different uniforms to what you might normally expect from firefighters. So these are our lightweight jackets and lightweight helmets so that we can work more comfortably around vehicles. We don't need the same level of protection as we would if we were looking at a structure fire of some description. We've got a firefighter sitting in the vehicle. What they're doing at the moment, that's that airbag restraint to make sure that the airbag doesn't go off. SO Sykes is going to isolate that battery and they're starting to get prepared to do some cuts. So what's going on the roof is a patient shield so that when we do start doing cuts, nothing goes near the casualty at all. There's no blades near the casualty. It's nice and safe. We make sure they've also got the same level of protection that we do in terms of goggles, making sure they've got masks on and just keeping them nice and safe. This is the glass management side that we're talking about at the moment. They're putting a catcher inside that window. They'll be breaking the glass. They're calling out to everyone on the scene that they're going to be breaking glass so that everyone's aware, and they're making sure that the casualty is protected. Motor vehicle rescues aren't the only things that we respond to, though. We have a lot of other rescues. I've mentioned some of them before. But one of the other things that we do and have done extensively in the last couple of months with all the rain is in-water rescue. And we have one of our in-water rescue operators currently working who's on this crew at the moment, who's been deployed extensively up the North Coast doing rescues all over the different areas in support of the New South Wales SES. So we do have a very extensive capability across rescue. They're getting the hydraulic gear to work at the moment, making access to that rear door. At the moment, what they're doing is taking out what we call the B pillar. So once they've removed that B pillar from the top, they'll be able to start ripping from the bottom of the door. The idea is we open the car up pretty much like a tin can. This gives our paramedics excellent access to the casualty and also means we have a lot of room when we need to start extracting people from that vehicle. Our new Sharps protection kit, which is what's being taken out at the moment here, has been made up from old turnout gear, or what might be known as firefighting gear for previous firefighters, or that once we've changed over to our new gear. So this is really strong, it's very protective, and we start to put it over all of those sharp cuts that we've made, so that when we're working around it, but also when we're taking the casualty out, everyone's nice and safe. When rescue pump when rescue pump 15 was turned out, you might have noticed that we had an RPAS, or it might be better known as a drone, up in the sky. That capability has been used extensively across New South Wales, either looking at flood awareness. We use it during fires so we can see exactly what the spread of the fires is. It gives the incident commander really good situational awareness, and it really starts to help focusing that incident action plan that we use. So that is what turned out this crew today, and those bells that you heard, they're the bells that go off in the station and in our truck via our mobile data terminals. Those terminals give us all the information we need for the job. So they tell us what the address is, any of the information that comes through. So if you're calling 000, having really good information really sets the crew up for success when they're on their way, because then we can start to talk about, we know that there are people trapped in this vehicle, we know what we need to start doing, we might know what the building is if it's on fire, or any of the other incidents we respond to. So you can see the crew have made really good access to the casualty. Once those doors are out, they have a lot of room to start moving. So the casualty has been put on what we call as a spine board. It's a solid board that we carry them out on. We'll take them either to a Stokes litter, which is basically a big stretcher, or we'll carry them straight to the awaiting ambulance if they're on scene. If they're not on scene, we'll commence our normal first aid processes until the ambulance does get there. We'll ensure that there are no leaks so that further accidents don't get caused, and make sure the entire area is safe. Excellent work, 15. The crew from Burwood have done an excellent job. Inspector Cinders, what have you seen? We've got some strange looking off-gassing happening there. It sounds like this, or looks like this, might be a hazardous materials incident. Across New South Wales, Fire and Rescue has 250 hazmat technicians. Hazmat technicians are specialised areas as well. They do a 4-week course to learn everything they need to know about hazardous materials, and we are the combat agency for that in New South Wales. So we're just waiting on some hazmat technicians who are coming in from the side here in their splash suits. So they're carrying different detectors so that they can start to test what that gas is, so we know what the risk is. We'll be looking at the stickers and the labels that are on side of those drums to make sure we know what we're responding to, and they'll be starting to do all their testing while they're looking up the different hazardous materials codes and their station officer is starting to plan what the overall incident action plan is. If we do have any people in there, we'll be making what's called a snatch and grab and getting them out to a safe area. For this one, they're going to be placing that hazardous material in a hazmat drum, sealing that off, and then they'll need to be going through decontamination. So you can see we have a hose line set up from the rear of Burwood's truck, and that hose line will be charged. This is our decontamination shower that they're going to be going through. When we have a hazardous materials incident, we have different zones. We have the hot zone, which is the area that the contaminants are in. We have a warm zone, and then we have a cold zone. These people are moving through from the hot zone into a warm zone where it's nice and clean, making sure they get rid of all the hazardous materials, cleaning the bottom of their boots. And once they're done, they'll be able to come down, dress down out of these splash suits, which are actually very hot to be in, take off their breathing apparatus, and then they'll start doing their rehabilitation. It just seems to keep coming today. We now have flames in the background. Out of there, Inspector Cinders. Looks like it's going to get hot. So we have Pumper 42. Pumper 42 is out of Ryde Fire Station, and they are on their way. They're coming onto the scene now. The pumper that they are in is one of our brand new Scania trucks. They still carry 2,000 litres of water. Still very heavy, but also very efficient in what they can do. So the crew's getting out. You'll notice they again have the cylinders on their back. So they're a breathing apparatus to make sure that we can go into fire environments. Gentleman in the red helmet is Esso Gish. Another very experienced fire and rescue employee. He's had 29 years of experience, He was also the first arriving station officer at the Rozelle Fire and Explosion. It's possibly one of the largest and most complex jobs we've had in New South Wales. What he's doing at the moment is what we call a 360. So as part of our incident management, he'll go around, have a look at the entire scene. He'll have a look for any different hazards that may be on the scene or anything that might potentially become a hazard to the firefighters later. As he's done that 360, he's going to go back and he's going to let our communications centre know exactly what's going on, and he's going to explain what level of resources he needs. So you can see the firefighters are there with their hoses. That hose line is just about to be charged. These are called our 38mm hoses. They're quite light compared to the 70mm, which means firefighters can be quite mobile while they're using them. Excellent for house fires, getting into car fires and moving around quite comfortably. The different hose streams you can see at the moment, we have a jet stream over on the far side and we've got more of a fog on this side. So depending on the angle of the cone, depends on what type of fire you're fighting. So electrical fires, we would never use a jet stream. We'd use the cone and we'd be pulsing that water so that we don't keep that continuous flow to the firefighter. Before they go into a fire, they're going to be checking how much air they've got in their cylinder, and your motor driver who is operating the pump at the back of the truck is also going to be keeping an eye on how much air everybody has and making sure that everybody's put their tags in, that they know where everybody is at all times and that everyone's safe. So the equipment that our firefighters are wearing is state-of-the-art equipment to keep them safe. It's very insulative to stop any damage or burns from fires, but it becomes very hot. So we do recycle our crews quite frequently to make sure that we manage everyone's fatigue and dehydration. So that's just a bit of a snapshot about what fire and rescue do. We like to say we're prepared for anything, and as you can see, this environment absolutely gives us that opportunity. Over on the back, we do have an urban search and rescue training course going on at the moment, and they're currently going through their assessments. So once those people go through, they'll become Cat 2 operators or Category 2 operators, and they were the operators that we sent over to New Zealand to respond to the earthquake in Christchurch. They've been to Vanuatu as part of specialist teams rebuilding and removing trees, and also to the Japan tsunami. We currently have 276, hopefully 16 new operators added to that at the end of today. Lovely. Thank you very much to all of our crews who assisted. If everyone would like to head over back past where we had the presentation, there are refreshments served at the moment, so please head over in that direction and have something nice to eat and to drink.